Hello everyone watching at home, and welcome to the live stream at EGTV Channel 6. This is for girls badminton at EGHS versus Buffalo Grove High School. I'm Brooke Jerzyk, a student here at Elk Grove High School, and I'm joined with Kitty Wyman.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to girls badminton. We're in the middle of, they just started the doubles varsity. So we're currently looking, for those of you at home, we are looking at the second net by the back doors just to the left of the EG sign.
So I heard that you were previously on the badminton team.
I was on the badminton team. My daughter played for 4 years here. Last year she was in 2012, so it's been quite some time since I've actually watched the people. I was here a couple years ago with the announcing. So it's one of my favorite sports. So it looks like we are getting ready for Buffalo Grove missed. Okay, Elk Grove has the serve. If you notice, when she was just put her hand behind her back, and you can see she put up a couple fingers behind her back. Oh, that didn't go over the net, so service goes to Buffalo Grove. You'll notice when the girls, Elk Grove, they'll put their hand behind their back and they'll do 1 or 2 fingers. That's letting their partner know where they intend to hit the shot, whether it's going to be up court, it's going to be a short shot, or it's going to be a little bit longer.
So why do they choose vertical over horizontal?
So when you are doing the serve, typically the right side of the court is even. So that's where you start at the beginning of the game. It's an even service shot. Left side of the court is odd service, and that's the odd score is basically what's happening there. So it looks like they've taken a little bit of a break here. They may have some type of looks like somebody's coming over, so they may either have a question or they're just looking for a strategy. Looks like the coaches are kind of maybe giving them a few pointers. So a couple of things that the people that don't regularly watch badminton or have kids in badminton may want to know. Badminton is actually badminton is probably the fastest sport, which a lot of people are surprised to know. Some of the volleys and the rallies that go, they can be incredibly fast, but the birdie actually comes at you at the greatest speed out of any sport. The birdie can actually go at up to 200 miles an hour during a good rally session.
And people I've interviewed for your book say that tennis is actually more about the weight and not about the speed. Well,
yeah, and tennis is like badminton. It is strategic, but you're right. It is definitely more about the weight. And tennis, there's a big difference. You're going to see the biggest difference is in the service here. You'll watch everything with badminton must be an underhand serve. So that was hit into the net, comes back to Elk Grove. And you're going to see she put her fingers behind her back. It's going to tell where she's going to she's going to try and plant the birdie. And it was a short. Elk Grove gets it for a point. The other thing that people should know, unlike tennis, when you serve, tennis is always an overhand serve. Now she just indicated again where she intends to try and drop. Another short, that's out. Elk Grove gets the point. The difference here fundamentally in the service between tennis and badminton. Tennis is always an overhand serve. Badminton is always an underhand serve. Tennis, you're throwing the ball up in the air to hit with a force. Badminton, your feet, and you'll see with tennis, they actually jump up in the air. Sometimes both feet come up off of the ground. Badminton, that may not happen. The rules dictate that some part of both feet must be on the ground. And service of the birdie may not go. You must engage the racket with the birdie no higher than the waist. So we got a little bit of a rally going here. That's out. Buffalo Grove will get it. Okay, serve. That was out. Buffalo Grove for the point.
So what tips would you give to each of the teams?
So what we're not seeing here is we're not seeing. They really, I think what they have to look at is where they're going to do the placement. Right now, when you start getting teams that are running back and forth and you get them off of their marks, right now you've got these girls, they're kind of really planted in their respective corners. You've got to start getting these girls moving. Once they start moving, it makes it easier and quicker to get the point for the win. All right, Elk Grove gets the serve back. You're going to see her. She'll go. Okay. Comes back.
And I feel like some players may overcalculate, like they expect it to go one way, but it doesn't always end up that way.
Well, and that's exactly it. One of the things that it's like this with any sport. Where your racket ends up is where your birdie's going to end up. So if you bring your racket across you, your birdie's going to go across you. And likelihood is, if you're hitting it hard, it's going to go out. Okay, Buffalo Grove match on that one. So it's a series of best 2 out of 3. The beauty of badminton, there's very few sports that are like this. One of the beauties of badminton is that it's truly like a gentleman's sport. If there's ever a time when there's something that's called into question by any of the players, they try and resolve it themselves. They'll talk it out. They'll try and come to some type of a disposition. If they can't, they'll call over a coach or somebody in the immediate area to help them resolve for final disposition.
Yeah, and they're showing really good sportsmanship at the end. Like they aren't, yelling at each other.
No, this is not that kind of a sport. It always starts most often when they're going to be starting a match. The girls will all tap rackets is a way of just getting things started.
Yeah.
But you don't see. You'll hear more yelling maybe from the sidelines, but you really don't get any kind of shouting inside. Both of our varsity teams up top are in the process of waiting for the second game to start, so it'll be the best out of 3.
So where are the lines at?
For doubles, it's kind of hard to see, but for doubles, we are looking at the far outside gray lines and the far back gray line. Doubles, they allow the court to be a little bit wider. For the surface area needs to be wider because you've got 2 people per side. The singles, it's the inner line, but you still get the back. You still get the back line. So the singles is a thinner. When looking at it, it doesn't look like it's that big of a difference. But if you're in a good rally, that extra 1.5 feet or so on either side, it makes a big difference when you're running. What we really haven't seen, they started again now on both the front varsity courts. What we really haven't seen come out of either of our 2 varsity teams up top is a really good, solid rally.
Yeah.
We're seeing, there we go. Good hit.
Yeah.
Good hit from Buffalo Grove, putting it down.
And Buffalo Grove previously, while we were talking, they actually saved it really good. They went on their knees and lifted it up and just made it.
Yeah, and a lot of this really is just anticipation of where that's going to go. So that last shot, all right, so she hit in the ground. Elk Grove gets the serve. A lot of times what you want to do is you want the short shot to force your opponent to come forward so that your partner can then hit it far. Now that one hit the tip of her racket. Elk Grove will get that back. You could actually hear that from up here. With this sport, the birdie can actually hit the net, but the player or the rackets may not. So if the birdie hits the net and drops over, we're still okay. You've got to get up to it and hit it. There we go. Nice hit by Elk Grove.
And what I was wondering is, how do you get on the same page, if you will, as your teammate in doubles?
It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of knowing your teammate. You will hear, sometimes you'll hear the teammates talking to each other about where to go and how to move. That's out. Oh, actually it's not. I thought it was out. Buffalo Grove gets a serve again. You'll hear them talk about where they're going to try and drop it.
And that does show that it is very
Buffalo
difficult.
Grove got the point on that.
Very difficult to figure out exactly where the birdie went, like if it went on the line and bounced off, or
sometimes it's just a calculated choice. That was out. Oh, yeah, that one. So a lot of times what you try and do is, you'll notice in that last shot, she actually went for center mass on the Elk Grove player. You get to the center mass, it's very difficult to position your racket to be able to come in that close to your body and get to the center of your body. It was a good shot by Buffalo Grove. Another good serve by Buffalo Grove, wrapped in short. So that was just then, it was based on them calling it, and she called it right.
You have to be in really good communication with your doubles team member.
You do.
Because you honestly don't want to mess it up, or, say that it's this far, but it isn't.
Heads back to Elk Grove. Well, you are. That's exactly right. And you really have to know your partner. There's a lot of practice that goes in. Now, these are not the same. They may not play with the same partner next game. So you really have to know the different teammates and how you play. If you're really good as a doubles team, you will play regularly together, but there will be times when they will bring in another person depending on the team you're playing, the couple that you're playing against. Buffalo Grove's is showing strong. There we go. Oh. And the other thing is, too, there can't be a double tap. So if Elk Grove hits it or Buffalo Grove hits it and it doesn't quite go over, the same person may not hit it or your teammate may not hit it. It's one hit per side to try and get it over. Buffalo Grove's getting pretty close to closing it up. Spike hit. That she was a good hit. All right, here we go. Into the net. Back to Elk Grove. You heard her call it.
Another thing, too, is that you don't want to get too close to the net that you may accidentally hit it when you think it's not over.
You have to be really careful that you don't hit that net. And if you're going to get that close to the net, you're generally going to spike it into the ground. Mm-hmm. That one was out of bounds. Buffalo Grove gets it back.
And when playing, the net actually makes it a bit more difficult to see if it landed on one side or the other.
Part of why it's a gentleman's sport. All right, back to Buffalo Grove. In the net, Elk Grove will get it.
So how are the points calculated?
You may only receive a point upon serve. So if you win the volley upon serve, good hit by Buffalo Grove. If you get the point upon serve, you get to keep going. You only get a point on serve. She's going to hit it down. Yep.
That was a nice save made by Elk Grove, though.
They're starting to get a little bit more aggressive as they get towards the end. Okay, racket's up. We're ready. She's going to hit down. Again, there you could see she went for center mass. And that makes it very difficult. When they go basically for your stomach area, it's very difficult to move on time. going back to Elk Grove. She knew that she wasn't going to be able to hit that and get it over the net without hitting it. Here she goes, down. It's going to go back to Buffalo Grove.
And it's mainly about strategy when it comes to knowing kind of your opponent and like who's kind of you should aim at and who you shouldn't.
Ideally, you're always looking for open space. And we got a good rally that's going to be out. It's going to go back to Elk Grove for the service. Sometimes the best strategy is forcing your opponents to move. When they move, they can't often get back to the space they need to. It's the end of the game. And that's it for Varsity 3. Varsity 2, upper right, is still going. Well, that one looks like it's wrapping up as well.
I think Elk Grove needed a little bit more lift to get it over, and it would have been kind of difficult for Buffalo Grove to receive that since it was so close to the net. What do you think of that?
It's really about, at that point when you get to that, it's really about the power that you put behind it. A lot of times when you're putting some power behind these shots, it's pretty hard to stop your opponent. It's real hard to stop, and that's why you saw a lot of times when they were going for that center mass and they were going for the kill shot. It's all about the power. That's all about the hit. Okay, we've still got a game going. We got a JV game, upper right-hand corner. Let's see if we can pick up on that. Solid hit with Buffalo Grove there. All right, Buffalo Grove for the serve, into the net. Buffalo get it back. Oh, they must be ending. Yeah, that one actually just ended too. Looks like they're all clearing out at the same time.
On the left, where we were looking before, they're starting their practice. So the practice is how you kind of get to know your teammate better.
Well, and it's a good warm-up. It's really just warming you up before you get ready to get started, and then they'll all decide when they're ready to go. And the way the game actually starts is there's a service with the birdie, and depending on its placement is who actually gets to serve first. So it's their version of a coin toss, basically. And you'll see them get ready to do that. As soon as one of the birdies comes off, you'll see them tee it up, and depending how the birdie lands is who gets first service. So these are truly warm-ups. We actually got another game over in the corner that's just getting ready to start. Looks like that one went under the net, so Elk Grove's getting it, I'm sorry. Buffalo Grove into the net. Elk Grove gets it back for a point.
She had the right speed for it, but if she lifted it up a bit more, it would have, went over the net.
Yeah. Okay, Buffalo Grove for the serve. Hitting it back. They're going to try and get them off, and she accomplished exactly what she wanted to do. She helped position it so that Elk Grove could drop it in the location where Buffalo Grove wasn't. Elk Grove gets the serve in the net, now goes to Buffalo Grove. These guys are hitting with a little bit more fierceness. She's going to get ready to drop it. Oh, side. And that, I don't know if you could see, but her racket was actually tipped, and that's what forced it to stay on her side and go across her player. was a good hit. It was a good drop. She couldn't get her racket repositioned in time. Service goes back to Elk Grove. That'll go now to Buffalo Grove. She needed to angle her racket a little bit better to get it up over the net. There you go. It's a good shot for Elk Grove. Okay, Elk Grove for the service. She tried. Into the net, Elk Grove gets the point. She wanted to go for a smash.
Yeah.
The birdie wasn't high enough for her to hit it over. That's out. Elk Grove gets the point.
Many of the badminton players I talked to said that their favorite move was the smash.
It is fun. It is fun, especially if you can get that center mass. But, you know, watching it hit into the ground, Elk Grove was a miss. That was a miscommunication. One of them should have called it, but it was a good service there. Yeah, the smashes are fun.
So
here you saw what you saw there was actually a communication. Elk Grove's girls were on the wrong side. They were in the wrong boxes. Buffalo Grove pointed it out, and they made the change in position. She hits it up. She sets it up for that service. Yeah. That was a good play there by Buffalo Grove.
Yeah, and that demonstrates what you were talking about, how you try to get it as close to the net as you can so that it would be difficult for them to recover the hit.
Yeah. Buffalo Grove, you can actually hear the birdie hit off the racket, and it caused it to go out, giving Elk Grove the serve. Short shot. And right to, she played to the backhand. Here we go. Now we're going to start seeing some hits. Yep. It was a good rally there by Elk Grove. Dropped in, and Buffalo Grove couldn't get back to it quickly enough. And that ends. Looks like that ends the JV game. Okay, we're going to go back to Varsity 3, where we were before, just to the left of the, well, you can't quite see anymore, the Elk Grove.
So what was your experience like on the badminton team?
I loved it. It's a great sport. It's not an easy sport. Everybody thinks it's easy. It's a little bit underestimated. Not necessarily for the faint of heart. And you're tired. You get into some good games, and you're super tired. All right, Elk Grove has the service. Yeah, it went over. Buffalo Grove's going to get it. When you serve, you go cross court. So you never serve to the same side that you are on. It's always a cross court service. Same as in tennis. Yeah, you could hear that one hit the racket. But Buffalo Grove hit the net, so it goes back to Elk Grove. Go. Service didn't make it over the net, so it goes back to Buffalo Grove. She's going to hit it hard. Same thing. Even though you could hear it hit off the racket, she did go for center mass, and she couldn't move fast enough. And the net goes back to Elk Grove.
And as you're saying about like how it affects you, like basically physically, like you get tired, I've noticed that some of the badminton players have to take breaks in the middle of it.
They will sometimes, especially if you're getting, looks like that one.
Especially during a good rally. Or not
It can
during,
be
but
exhausting. You know, a
after.
lot of times you'll see badminton players, you'll see them during their practices, they'll actually run laps just to get their wind. And if you're really in a hard rally, you get a lot of stops and starts, and that's fatiguing in itself, because when you're doing the stop start, you can't always get into the next position that you need to be in to hit the shot.
Yeah.
So that was a smash right there. Back to Buffalo Grove.
You mainly have to replace yourself too after you're being consulted with the coaches or even talking with the other teammates.
Smash. You can see the setup coming on that. Really you want to get back into your center position, because you can, in your center position, you can then get to almost any place that you need to on the court. This team, Buffalo Grove's team here, they like smashing.
Yeah.
See, that was a perfect shot because they moved Buffalo Grove over and it left a hole for Elk Grove to hit it, and that's what brings Elk Grove back for the service. And a lot of times you'll see that happen. They'll try and move people so that they can then hit the shot and drop it where they want it. That's out. Goes to Buffalo Grove. All right, looks like that match. Yeah, it looks like that match is over.
So,
Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're just taking a timeout.
is anything different from when you last played or when your
No,
daughter
the
played?
rules actually stay the same, and there's actually an international set of rules for this. Badminton, believe it or not, is an Olympic sport. So, you know, there's actually scholarships for badminton. People don't think that there are, but if you watch the Olympic sport, they hit hard, they move fast, harder and faster than tennis by far.
And
Looks like a little bit of practice going here. They might be done on that. Yeah, and this one you can see on varsity 3. Coach is giving them some pointers before they get ready to start again.
yeah. And I'm used to like seeing like baseball and the other main sports and stuff, and I haven't really seen a lot of badminton. So it's not really that
No,
well
it's
known
not
of a
one of the most
sport.
highlighted sports.
Yeah.
That's for sure. You're right. Football, basketball, baseball, soccer is becoming much more popular here in the States. Those are the highlighted sports. Badminton, and actually there is a men's badminton, not in Elk Grove, but in the Olympics there is men's badminton. And that's actually very fun to watch. But it's not one of the highlighted sports. It's just, you just don't see it very often.
And I think that's where all the misconceptions of it come in, where people believe that it's not basically like hard, like, because people think that it's not involved in like Olympics and everything. So it's,
No, it is.
It,
You don't get to see it that often, but
Yeah.
it is played, and it actually is fun to watch.
And see-
So it looks like Elk Grove on varsity 3 is playing up again. She's going to come down hard. Yeah, into the net. Buffalo Grove gets it. You can see as these two, as Elk Grove and Buffalo Grove here are playing their third game, they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive in their hits.
So it's mainly toward the end that they get more
Well,
aggressive.
I think they're looking to just get the wins going here.
Yeah.
All right, Elk Grove gets the service. Buffalo Grove hit it out. Yep, drops right in. When you're hearing it hit the wood, it's because they're not actually doing proper placement. So it doesn't matter, you know, I'm not trying to pick on either one of the teams, but if you're hearing it hit the racket, they're just not getting proper placement when they're trying to line it up. Smash down.
And in one of the last matches,
Stays.
was
Elk Grove gets it.
that you have to angle it properly, or else it'll like go like very far away from where you're actually targeting it. So you got to figure out how to get back in the placement to serve where you
They're
want
going to get more aggressive here. There we go. See, she tried to get her off her mark, but she hit it out. A little bit too much strength on that one. All right, you saw it again. The girls were not in their right boxes, and Elk Grove called them out and asked them to move over. All right, we're going to get a smash. Yep. Both teams are really trying hard to see where the openings are so that when it goes up, they can do the hard hit and get it down to get the point or to get the birdie back. It's a miss, back to Elk Grove. You know, once upon a time when they played this, it really was with feathers. It used to be 16 feathers at the end of like a piece of rubber. Now it's a little bit more synthetic, but at one point it really was feathers.
How does that like affect basically the game? Like how does the type of birdie affect it?
It's all about the aerodynamics. It's all about the aerodynamics of the birdie.
Because at one point I did see them playing with feathers, but now they're starting to play with plastic sorts of things.
All right, back to Elk Grove, or I'm sorry, back to Buffalo Grove. She's going to come in hard on that. Same thing. Went to try and catch her in the backhand. And Buffalo Grove's going to win that game. I'll take a little bit of a break. They'll do a switch court. Okay, we'll go up to JV 3. That game is still going on. Elk Grove for the serve. She tried to do the smash into the net. Elk Grove gets it back. Service stays from the same location. She's going to come in hard. That was out. Elk Grove gets it. Point now, she goes on to the other side. Elk Grove will get it again. All right, into the net, Buffalo Grove. She tried to get her off her mark. She's going to try and bring it back in. There you go.
Is it kind of like, well, not scary, but like hard to like be on the same page with your teammate and like be careful not to accidentally hit them or give them misinformation?
Getting hit by the racket's not fun. Sometimes getting hit by the birdie isn't fun either. When they're coming at you at 100 plus miles an hour, it leaves a cute little mark. All right, Elk Grove for serve. She's going to try and drop it down. And Buffalo Grove, accomplished exactly what she wanted to do. Into the net, Buffalo Grove gets the service. Here we go. Elk Grove gets it back. She's going to drop it. One girl in Buffalo Grove, she's pretty good at getting the short shots in where it drops right over the net, and Elk Grove's not being assertive enough to get up to the net. Buffalo Grove's picked up a few points here. It's going to go back. We've got a nice little rally going here. It's going to be out. It's about 5 points in a row for Buffalo Grove here.
So how many
Miss,
points?
Buffalo is going to get again.
How many points is the target?
It's 21. You play up to 21, and you have to have a margin of a 2-point lead to win. She's going to drop it in. She hits it hard. Here it comes.
So
There we
each
go. Elk Grove gets that. Buffalo Grove hit it down on their side of the net. She didn't get the down on Elk Grove's side like she had hoped.
so each team is supposed to keep track of the scores.
Yeah, they will. You can't hear it, but they will announce the score before they serve, and it's always your score first when you're saying it. The ones who are watching, we just can't hear them. She's going to try and come across and drop. Yep. You can see the position a lot of times. From here, we can see it, but you can see when they start to position their racket, kind of where they're looking for it to drop. She's going to try and come in hard for the smash.
And then the other team can decide where they should put the
Buffalo Grove's going to take the win.
birdie, depending on their placement. So they can kind of work together and figure out where the birdie should go.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, is to find the hole, or to get your opponent into a position where they're just not physically able to hit it. It's not easy when you have to move that racket from one side to the other sometimes, and if you're going fast, it's all about judgment. All right, we're going to go up to JV2. That game is in progress. Swing and a miss, as they say in baseball. Goes back to Buffalo Grove. All right, coming across. Miss on the part of Elk Grove. Back to Buffalo. She's going to come in hard on that one. She's going to try and smack it down. Yep. Back to Buffalo Grove.
So how does badminton affect your basically day-to-day life?
You keep in shape. you keep in shape. If you're playing on a regular basis, it's like tennis or any other sport.
Yeah, because some of the people I know who are on Elk Grove's team explains that they have to stay after school till, I believe, 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, it really depends on when you can get the courts. Now, the other thing they don't like when I say, usually the badminton teams have some of the highest GPA. So I'm just saying, badminton isn't such a bad sport. These kids, they're usually some of the smarter kids in the bunch.
And you also have to balance both school, home, and the sport itself. So, and if you don't have a good balance, it's gonna mess everything.
It's like any sport. It's a fine balance, and a lot of the students are involved in more than just one thing. So, all right, Buffalo Grove back for the serve. She's going to come across. She's going to try and smash in right down the middle, and she got it. You can usually see where the height of the birdie is and where they're doing the placement of the racket if they're going to go for that smash. Out. Elk Grove will get it. Come down straight. It's going to be out.
So is it difficult for you to get adjusted to the sport?
I think it's like anything else. You learn the rules, you practice. Some of the hardest parts, she's going to try and drop. Point for Buffalo Grove. It's like anything else. You just have to be quick on your feet sometimes. And that's, even while tennis, you see them running back and forth a lot. The difference with badminton is you can go for center mass. You're not always doing that with tennis. Buffalo Grove's got a small rally going here. All right, service, it cannot hit the net. That's why Elk Grove got it back.
So what made you interested in doing the sport?
It was different. It was a different sport. I was not a tennis player. I did a little bit of track. I was not a tennis player. I just couldn't adjust to Elk Grove. Gets that. Once I started playing, I really enjoyed it. My daughter played 4 years here.
So I assume she really liked it too.
Actually, she wouldn't like me saying this. She had never played badminton before, and she tried out in 8th grade over the summer, and the coach came and said, "I don't even know why you're trying out for this. You don't have the chops." And by her sophomore year, she was on varsity. So she learned quick, and she was not a sports player at all. So if she could do it, pretty much anybody can. Buffalo Grove for the serve. She's going to try and come down hard on it. Here we go. Oh, that's it. Elk Grove gets it back. She couldn't get the backhand. They were probably talking about where they want the service to be on that. She was in the wrong side. She's going to come across background. Elk Grove gets it back. She's going to try and drop in. She's going to set it up. Yep. Smash. Yep.
You also have to be mindful of the net when you're trying to do a smash, because as we saw a few times with Buffalo Grove, when they tried,
yeah, and that was a perfect hit by Buffalo Grove. But Elk Grove couldn't reposition her racket. Sorry. She's going to come in. She's going to hit it down. If you watch the racket, you can usually get an idea of where they're going to try and get that hit in so that they can get the service back. She's going to do it, hit it down. Buffalo Grove gets it back. It was short, didn't make it over the net.
So then I have this Dakota Nicole, any other varsity way you can play in a minute. Okay. So that's
Point goes back to Buffalo.
9, 10.
And that's it. Looks like Buffalo Grove wins that. So it looks like that's it. It looks like varsity has closed out.
Well, this marks the end of the live stream for EGTV Channel 6, Elk Grove High School Badminton versus Buffalo Grove High School. For people watching at home, you can watch it on demand at EG/TV.org. I hope that you all will have a great night, and this is Brooke Jerzik signing off.